Hello! So, trying to do a little bit of a Vlogmas type thing, and Bennett has decided to come in and say hello. He's a little bit soggy, you're leaving paw prints all over me, because he's been outside in the cold and the ice. Are you going to say hello? Come on! No? You're just going to stand there? Come on, let's see if we can do this while he's here. I don't think we'll get very far, but we can try, can't we? Anyway, hello! So, I have been a bit quiet on Vlogmas. Partly, that is because my camera stand has broken. And everything I've recorded ended up going, meaning you didn't actually see anything. And I didn't realise until after I'd finished recording. So yeah, there isn't going to be much on this one, this Vlogmas. However, I thought I would figure out how I can prop the camera up and get Bennett tail in my ear. Come on, lay down. Come on. Yeah, so I thought I would try and prop the camera up. If it starts moving, which I think it started to, if it starts moving and going down, I will try and catch it so then you can actually see what I wanted to show you. So, I have never done this before, but this year I decided I wanted a box of socks. So, I kept one of my advent boxes for myself, and I decided that I wanted to fill it up with socks. However, this year I've not actually knit that many socks. Last year I think I did about 27, and this year I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs of socks, which is really poor compared to the previous year. Hopefully I will rectify that next year and this box will be full to the brim. At least that is the plan. So yeah, anyway, so I wanted to show you my little box of socks. I'm going to dive straight in. Bennett is here. I don't know if you can hear him purring because he is a very loud purrer. He is trying to wipe his face all over my beehive yarn advent because I haven't opened that either because again, every time I recorded it went zoop. So I'm going to try and record that again. Oh, you're very cuddly, aren't you? Let's see if we can do this. So yeah, going to show you some socks that I've made this year. And I'm really sorry that he's going to be very cuddly. I don't know if you can tell, but his mane's come back. All this fluff. Huh? No? You don't care, do you? So, haven't got dates. I will go and find out the dates and I will put them all down below so you can see when I started them, when I finished them and everything like that. I'm going to try and remember the names of the yarn and everything like that because I have got no notes. And I'm actually recording in my bedroom because it is it's 4:30 in the evening and it is black outside. I've just come back from a lovely day out at my uncle's and his wife's. Had a lovely family meal. I'll pop in a couple of pictures that I took. And yeah, it was really nice just to get out, but it was very, very icy out there. Yeah, don't recommend driving in that. Anyway, you're gonna make this really difficult, buddy. So my first sock, and they are all pairs. I will try and show you both at the same time, but Bennett is making it very difficult right now. This is my first pair of socks that I wanted to show you. They're just a pair of shorties. I had 3 mini skeins from the Camels yarn. They were just like 20 gram mini skeins, 3 of them. I don't remember the names of them. I think maybe this one was Shoreline, but I will see if I can find out and let you know. And yeah, they were sat in my stash for absolutely ages, and I just knew I had to make a pair of shorties with them. So that is what I did. I kind of estimated, and then to fade them I just alternated rounds for like, I think it was like a total of 5. Yeah, about 5 rows, just alternating them, and I did the same on the other sock. And yeah, that's all I did. But I really love these, and now that it's nearly the end of the year, I get to put them in my sock rotation, which will be great. My next pair, now I think when I showed this one off before on my podcast, like way back when, I'm pretty sure I only had one done, so that is why it's still in my box of socks, because if I'd have finished it, it would have been straight into the sock rotation. So again, it's a long pair of socks. Yeah, and they are called the yarn is my own, Blue Fern Yarns, and this is actually called Silver Birch. So you know, like those silver birch trees, it is just reminding me of that, and that's what I've called it. So it does this sort of micro stripe, but it kind of variegates as it goes through, so it's not a complete spiral all the way around. And I absolutely love the way this worked up. It is very fiddly, shall we say, to dye up, but I just absolutely love the effect. It was a colourway from last year. I don't know if I'm going to bring it back this year, but I don't know. If there is a lot of interest, please let me know. It's mostly like, if I get really close, you can see it's sort of browns and greys and a tiny bit of yellow in there. But yeah, love them. With all of my socks, I tend to knit a 64 stitch sock on 2.5mm needles. I'm quite a tight knitter when it comes to sock knitting, just because I use DPNs and I probably pull a little bit tighter than I need to. But yeah, so they're all like 64 stitches. The ribbing is quite often 1x1, or this one's 2x2. In fact, that's 2x2 twisted rib. This is 1x1 twisted rib. Yeah, I think that's sort of, I tend to go for the twisted rib socks anyway, because I like it. I think it looks very neat. And this was a sock tube. So I think my mum actually did the sock tube for me. No, it was me. I did the sock tube, and it was like when I first started knitting and I made Tom a pair of socks out of this colourway. I don't know if you remember, if you watched any of my old podcasts, and he wanted like neon green as the contrast toe, heel and cuff. And yeah, so that's what he got. And I love the colour so much. I love knitting with it. It was so lovely. And I can't remember who the dyer is for this one, because this one wasn't mine, but the contrast is mine, and it's called Ink, and it's just this gorgeous dark, it looks quite bright there. Actually there, how it's looking now is sort of true to colour how it actually is. And yeah, so I just did that. Afterthought heel, just a standard wedge toe, just because that's what I normally do. The length of the leg of the sock can often depend on what yarn I'm using. Yeah, it just depends. Or if I get bored. If I get bored and I'm like, that's about right, I quite often then go onto the heel and the toe and the foot and then the toe, and I get really excited when I've gone past the heel, because I'm like, oh, I'm almost done. But until I get there, I'm like, okay, just going round and round. But anyway, and actually, I say going round and round, they are literally all vanilla socks at the moment. I've got another pair. So this is a self-striping. I'll show you both, because then you can see it's a pair. So this, Bennett is actually on my lap. I don't know if this will work, because you might then disappear afterwards, but he's here. Look, hello. Yeah, hello. Oh, see if that actually works. So he is actually on my lap. It's making it a little bit difficult, but anyway. So yeah, here's another pair of socks. So this yarn has come from Giddy Yarns, and it's one of her self-striping. Oh, what was the colour? I feel like it's Eggs in a Basket or Easter Egg Hunt or something sort of like that. Anyway, so yeah, so what I did with this one is I cast on 64 stitches. I did a few rows of 1x1 twisted rib, and I started on with the contrast mini. So what she does is she does like either a 100-gram ball or a 50-gram ball and a contrast mini. So I got one of the 50-gram balls plus a contrast mini because she does them in the gobstopper balls, and they look amazing. She must sit there for hours winding them up, but they always look so pretty. But yeah, so yeah, all I do, cast on, do with the contrast colour, do a few rounds of the ribbing. Then what I do is I knit a long tube, and what I do with the 50-gram balls is I literally knit, and I have a set of scales right next to me, and when I get to what I think is about halfway, I start weighing it every few rounds, and when I get to about 27 grams left, I then go, right, that's it, I'll add the toe as I normally do. It's just a standard wedge toe. And then I do the other one, and I pull off enough just so then they do match as well, because these ones do match. Quite like matchy. So yeah, then I do an afterthought heel, which the method is very similar to a wedge toe anyway, because you can see sort of the bits here, and then you got the bits here. And yeah, that's sort of what I do. So the leg length will always depend on where I put my heel. So if I'm making it for me, obviously I get quite a bit of leg. But if I was making it for Tom, he'd probably have like that much leg and like this much foot because he's got massive feet. But yeah, so that is that one. Then I've got another pair. So this pair is actually patterned. I haven't made many pattern socks, but I plan on changing that next year. So here is another pair of socks. Love these. And this was actually a birthday present. So I think my mum actually gifted it to me, and it was Ducky Darling's June's Sweet Treat sock set. So it was Sweet Treats from last year. And just look at all those colours that are in there. Oh, it's so stunning. So many lovely colours. So it was a 100-gram variegated skein, and then you had a contrast mini that goes with it. And I love this contrast because it just picks out a few of the corally bits all the way through, speckles. And with this one, again, it's a 2x2 twisted rib. Who's the pattern by? The pattern is the Wych Elm Socks by Emma Potter, and she's got a podcast, Potter and Bloom. And yeah, so I did her pattern, and because I was loving the yarn so much, I really wanted to show it off. Rather than carrying the pattern all the way down the foot, I just did a sort of a vanilla foot effectively, and I just love them. I think they are fantastic. I can't wait to wear these. Look at those colours, they're just so stunning. But yeah, Ducky Darling's yarn is beautiful. And then I have got a pair of socks that I absolutely love. I love all of my socks, if you haven't guessed that already. So I've got a pair here. These are what they are. And these are the socks that I did with as a bit of a collaboration with Emma from Eldenwood Craft. And honestly, these are amazing. They turned out so much better than I thought they could. Just look at that colour. Oh, I love it. So it's a variegated skein, and you had the option to buy in like a 50 grams skein and a contrast, or a 100 gram skein and a contrast. Hello. And with this, I actually did something slightly different. So I did a dropped cuff. I don't know what it's actually called. So you can see that I've picked up the stitches, the back of the stitches there to create the fold down bit. I don't know what you call it. It was really great starting off and be able to go straight into knitting and just go round and round and round and round. The picking up of the back stitches, excuse me, was fiddly. It's probably the only way I can put it, but it was very fiddly. So haven't done it again since, but I do plan on doing it a couple of times because I do like the effect, and it's like double thickness at the top, and yeah, I love it. But yeah, 64 stitch sock, knitted a certain length for the leg. And by the way, I know when I say like I knit a certain amount for the leg, the pair of socks always match, but the socks compared to another pair of socks may not match. So yeah, I do make sure that I do match the two socks that I'm making. I've got a slip stitch heel, and then just on the foot, and a wedge toe as standard. But yeah, really excited about those. And then I've got one more pair of socks that I've made this year so far. I plan on making some over the Christmas period. Now, this came from, it's my yarn, it's come from the holiday sock sets that I did this year. So I haven't shown the colours on social media or anything like that. However, they're called Snow in Wells. So Wells is a place here in Norfolk where I am from, or where I currently live. I wasn't born here, but I do live here. And yeah, so if you do not want to see this colour and how it knits up, you might want to turn this off or skip along or anything like that. If I can, I will put a timestamp on so you can skip along to that point. Oh, you're being so cute. That is the cat, not just the sock. Oh, the sock's quite cute as well. Here is the pair of socks. And this is the Snow in Wells. I am also going to pop up a copy of the image, if I can, over here, that I used as inspiration for the colours, and this is the sock. So hopefully you can see a lot of the colours in the sock that came out of that image anyway. And I am in love with this. I love this. These colours are so me. I love them. So yeah, I just did, I think it was like 14 rounds for the rib at the top, and it's 2x2 twisted. Did a certain number of rows for the leg, slip stitch heel, and then just the foot with a wedge toe. But yeah, so they are my socks. So this is my poor attempt at a box of socks for this year. As you can see, there are not many, 7 pairs in total. I had hoped I would get a lot more done, but I didn't. I don't even know why. There really isn't any reason why, I just didn't. But yeah, so there's my box of socks, and now that I've shown you, I get to add them to my sock rotation. Other things that I wanted to show you this time was the advent from Beehive Yarns. So you will have seen days 1 through 5. And again, because my camera stand is broken and you are on the stand, but every now and again it will drop down. If I try and angle my camera where I actually want it, it doesn't work, and it just does this little slow. So I do need to get a new one. I just don't know which one to get. But I will get one at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah, I wanted to show you my beehive advent. So here is my Beehive Yarns advent calendar. We have got a little Bennett just sitting there, keeping watch and falling asleep while he's sitting up. But yeah, here it is. So we've got days 1 through 11. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 just there. And just how stunning does that look? It's beautiful. Bennett doesn't look fussed about it at all. Say hello. No? Hello. Hello. Hello.